One of the biggest challenges we've had on this property is getting fruit trees from a small size and getting them to grow through. The biggest threat to them has been the watering. They're not watering enough, but it's actually these ants that like sort of big, but they're not really ants. They're black and they're called chaka or chakas, and they just come through. They're really militant and they'll strip all the leaves off the tree like in one session, and are organised to strike at night, and then you come back and the tree's like naked of leaves, and then they'll let it like grow back a little bit, and then if they hit it a second time, the tree will never recover. So that's been a big challenge. You know, how do we deal with these things? The neighbours all say poison. You know, we try and be organic, so we've tried putting wool around the base, and apparently they don't like to climb over it, but the wool can come off, and they do climb over it. We've tried putting Vaseline on the trunks, which some people say works, but in the heat or with the rain, it doesn't work for long, if it works at all. And the best way we've found to deal with those is to recycle a plastic bottle, cut part of the top off to make it easier to slide over the tree, all of the bottom, the small end to the top. Just guide the branches through. We're going to take it more or less to the bottom, to the ground, but it doesn't actually need to enter the ground at all. And now take some tape, because these ants can tunnel. So I once put it into the ground at the bottom, and they tunneled underneath and then climbed up the top, where it's too slippery for them to climb up the bottle. That's why we put it over it, and that's going to prevent them from coming and stripping the leaves again. Voila. The last thing we're going to do is like an extra layer of protection, even where we have the bottles, is put calcium carbonate, which is a common building material that they mix with plaster normally, also the outside of natural construction. We're going to make a paste out of it and paint the trunks, and you'll see that in the plazas that here in Latin America, that the trees all at the bottom, it looks like painted white. It's actually kaolin, and it's to stop insects from crawling up. So apparently they don't like it, so we're going to do it today. Okay, just to give it a good paint. So there's no clear path for the ants to go up. Voila! Yeah, so we planted comfrey around the trees. It's a great micronutrient accumulator that it pulls up from its roots, which are quite deep. So we can use this to make liquid fertilizer, but also it's good just to chop and drop. It's amazing how fast it grows back. In wetter climates, it's sort of invasive, like the mint. Here it has such a prolonged dry season that we're actually trying to propagate it. It has amazing medicinal properties too. I'm just going to keep the grass down so they don't have a bridge going above the cull also. The chakas, even though they can work during the day, they mostly work, they're working in force at 8 o'clock at night. So we're going to come out here around that time and look at the trees and see if we can find their caravan. It's going to be very, very clear. And one of the techniques you can do is follow the trail back to their nest. What I found will work to kill the nest is you have to boil a big amount of water and have it ready when you start to dig for the nest, because these guys, as soon as you get to their eggs, they're going to pick up their eggs and run somewhere else. You know, you just move the problem somewhere. So open a big hole and then dump the boiling water in it.
It's going to be a lot of work, I think, to find their home because there's a massive mound of straw that they're traveling through. So let's hope that when I dig up the straw, I can find it.
Boiling water.
This is where we followed the chacas probably 4 days ago. All their eggs we could see right in here. You can still see the dead chacas. And it looks like the rest of them moved. This is where the home base was of all the ones that were going into this garden. Eating all of our kale. So it's a relief. The path also came through right here, and there is no sign of them. So happy to see that.
So we just open it up. There you go. Ooh, these were white. And you can just pull the dirt back on. That should be it. We've shown you the techniques that we use on this farm against chaka, which is probably our number one pest. Some of the other things that the neighbours, the locals are saying you can do is find a chaka nest, and around it it's almost like sawdust where they've come in and out. It's their poo. You can collect that and put that around your garden. You know, take it from another chaka nest further away, put it around the garden that you want to protect, and other ants from other nests don't like crossing it. That's one way, but then it rains and you have to do it again. And obviously there's poison, which we really avoid here, and you see the difference. You know, the neighbours that use fungicide and pesticide in this time of year with the rains and the humidity being just right, we get mushrooms on this property and they don't. So that's one benefit. Also, we can say we're organic. People know we don't use chemicals, although we don't bother certifying. They know we're pretty staunch on that. And the third reason is that if you can't buy them or you can't afford chemicals, learning how to operate, get crops without it is going to be key. So we're in that path. You know, we've lost a lot of trees in the past, and it's certainly a good percentage of the crops that we have done, but we're learning how to live without chemicals, and every lesson just helps us do that better.
We hope that this video brought you guys some value. We know how important it is to protect your crops in your garden. If you also have any comments or any tips on how to contra against ants or chakas, then we'd really appreciate it if you'd share it with this community down in the comments section.
Yeah, and if you had trouble understanding that was the best Spanglish we could manage.
Spanglish. Contra.
A little bit of Spanglish.
Contra.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hit subscribe and like this video, and we'll talk to you soon. This is Marie, one of our volunteers from Belgium. What city are you from?
Oosten.